All right, let's talk about the 72nd BPSC prelims. It's on the horizon, and these next 4 months, they are absolutely everything. It's so easy to get lost, changing your strategy every week. So in this breakdown, we're cutting through all that noise. We're giving you one clear, powerful blueprint to follow from now until exam day. So let's dive right in.
We're kicking things off with this because, honestly, it sets the tone for everything we're about to discuss. This is a do or die moment. The right mindset isn't about trying to pass, it's about going in knowing you will succeed. And let me be clear, clearing this exam in one single focused attempt is absolutely possible. If someone else has done it, why not you?
And it's so important to be real about what's at stake here. This isn't just some personal goal. For so many of you, this exam carries the pride of your parents, the dreams of your whole family. In a way, you are their social security, their reason to hold their heads up high. Remembering that why, that's the fuel that's going to get you through the toughest days.
So, to get you there, we've broken this down into 4 key stages. We're going to start with the foundation, that do or die mindset. Then we'll build out your daily plan for success. After that, we'll unpack the smartest way to study, not the hardest. And finally, we'll talk about how to absolutely master that crucial home stretch right before the exam.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about your mind. Before you even crack open a book, you have to forge that will to win. Seriously, this is the bedrock that everything else is built on. So what does this winning mindset actually look like in practice? Well, it really boils down to a few core principles. First, you have to genuinely believe you can do this in one shot. Second, understand that consistency is your only true superpower. It's about showing up every single day, not just on the days you feel motivated. That also means no long breaks that kill your momentum. You have to learn to tune out the noise, the distractions, and just focus on your path. And always, always remember who you're doing this for. And I think this quote just captures it beautifully. All those late nights, all the hard work, it feels tough now, but it's not for nothing. Those are the moments that are literally building the golden tomorrow you're working so hard for. It all comes back to that consistency. All right, with that mindset locked in, let's get tactical. It's time to see how that will to win translates into a daily structure, a blueprint that guarantees you're squeezing the absolute most out of every single day.
This right here is your perfect day, broken into 4 powerful blocks. You start the morning when your mind is fresh by revising what you covered yesterday. Then you use your peak daytime energy to tackle new chapters and tough concepts. The evening is all about application. Get your hands dirty with MCQs and problem solving. And then right before you sleep, close your eyes and actively try to recall the main points of the day. This cycle is absolutely key. And every single one of those days must be driven by a daily target. You can't just study randomly. That's a recipe for disaster. The moment you wake up and think, let's see what I feel like doing today, you've already lost half the battle. You have to plan your day the night before. Know exactly what you need to crush when you wake up. Now let's talk about what you're actually studying. Because this isn't about putting in more hours, it's about making the hours you put in count. This whole section is about one word: efficiency. Look at this, because there are really 2 paths you can take here. The path to failure is paved with good intentions, collecting every book you can find, making these massive, novel-length notes that are impossible to revise, and just studying whatever feels right. But the path to success, it's about being selective, limited high-quality resources, focusing like a laser on high-yield subjects, and creating short, keyword-based notes you can revise in minutes. You have to choose your path right now. So where should you focus that laser? This chart tells the story. Current affairs is a huge piece of the pie. We're talking 30 to 35 questions. It's non-negotiable. Then you have the other heavy hitters, history and general science. If you can get a solid grip on these 3 areas, you are building a massive advantage. And a quick tip, don't wait for some big year-end magazine for current affairs. Study it month by month, starting now. But that's not the whole picture. Geography, and especially Indian geography, is another core area you have to cover. Of course, Bahar Special is crucial. And then you have maths and reasoning. Listen, these 10 questions are what we call low-hanging fruit. Your target here shouldn't be 8 or 9. It should be a perfect 10 out of 10. These are easy marks you simply can't afford to leave on the table. So you've learned all this stuff, but how do you actually make it stick in your brain? This is all about the psychology of retention. Just studying something once is not enough. You have to follow this golden rule. First, do a quick revision right after you learn a topic. Then, visit it again after 1 week. This is critical to fight something called the forgetting curve. And finally, do a full review of everything before you start a new cycle. This is how you burn knowledge into your long-term memory. And here is a game-changing tip. Create an error notebook. I'm serious. Every time you get a question wrong on a practice test, don't just glance at the right answer. Write down the question, write down the concept you messed up, and briefly explain why you got it wrong. By the time the exam rolls around, this notebook will be the single most powerful and personalized revision tool you own. Okay, you've built the mindset, you've got the daily routine down, you're studying smart. Now let's fast forward. We are in the final lap. This is the most critical phase of your entire preparation. We're defining this final phase as the period starting around June 10th. It's the last month and a half or so before the exam. What you do in these final weeks can literally make or break all the hard work you've put in. This is where you bring it all together. And your action plan for this phase needs to be simple and ruthless. Step 1, stop learning new things. The time for that is officially over. Your entire focus, 100% of it now shifts to revision. You will live and breathe mock tests, you will constantly review your short notes, and you will spend a ton of time with that invaluable error notebook we just talked about. So, how many mock tests? Remember this number, 1. You must take, at a minimum, 1 full-length mock test under real exam conditions every single week during this final phase. No ifs, ands, or buts. No excuses. And this really gets to the core philosophy of this last stretch. Your job is no longer to accumulate more knowledge. It's to consolidate and refine what you already know. You have to trust the work you've put in for months. Think of it like this. Now is the time to sharpen the axe, not to run around trying to chop down new trees. So, there you have it. That's the complete 4-month blueprint to give you your best shot at the 72nd BPSC Prelims. Every single step, from your mindset to your mock tests, is laid out right here for you. The only question left is the one we started with. You have the map. Do you have the will to actually make the journey?